Shalom, it's Tehila from the Kefar, which promotes and provides Hebrew language education. I've been teaching online since 2015, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you about 3 things that you should consider when choosing a platform to offer your language lessons online. Okay, and if you want to learn more about teaching language online, go to thekefar.com/teaching language online, and the link is also in the video description. And so one of the things, of course, that you'll need to consider is price. So there are free options, there are paid options. One isn't necessarily better than the other. It just depends on what your needs are. And you also have the freedom to switch at any time. So if you start with one platform and you feel like that's not working for you or it doesn't have the features that you're looking for, you can always switch to a different platform. So when starting out, I don't recommend, let's say, paying for a year in advance for a platform until you've worked with it, you've gone a couple of months, you see how it works, and you see that it's a good fit for you, your students, and your business. And then if you want to go ahead and make a longer term commitment, then you can do that. But it's better to pay month to month for a couple of months than to invest in a year-long contract with a platform and then you see that you're having issues with it or it's not really serving the needs of your students. So some free options include Skype and Google Meet. And then some paid options include Zoom and ClassIn and GoToMeeting, and there are lots more. And even with a lot of the paid options, you will often have free trials, or maybe they'll have a free version with maybe a limited amount of minutes or a limited number of students. So depending on the types of lessons that you're doing, whether you're teaching one-on-one or maybe your lessons are only half an hour instead of 45 minutes, you may actually be able to get the benefits of a paid platform from the free version of that same platform. Another thing to consider are the features and specifically the controls that you have available as the instructor. So depending again on who you're working with, whether you're working with younger children or teenagers or adults, and whether you're teaching one-on-one or you are doing larger classes, you may need different types of controls that aren't available with just any platform. And so some features that you might want to have are the ability to record your sessions. You might also want to be able to have a screen share function so that you don't have to send out your materials to students, that you can share whatever it is that you have on your own computer or whatever device it is that you're using. You might also want the ability to mute or unmute microphones. Again, if you're only teaching one-on-one or if you're teaching smaller groups, this might not be that important to you. But in larger groups, it can be really helpful for you as a teacher to be able to mute microphones when there's a lot going on in the background or just allow one student to talk and participate at a time. And another feature that you might want is the ability to give your learners control of the mouse so that they can control whatever it is that's going on the screen. Just look through as you're doing your research, check out the various features and controls that the different platforms offer, and think about which ones would be most useful for you based on, again, the age of the students that you're teaching and whether or not you're doing one-on-one or maybe one-on-two versus larger class sizes of learners. And the third thing that I think is really important to consider when you are choosing a platform is the ease of use, not just for you as the language instructor, but more importantly for your learners. How easy will it be for them to log into this platform or access it however they need to in order to be able to have these language lessons with you? Think about whether they will need to download something. Make sure that the platform that you use is compatible across various devices, because you have some students who will log in on their phones and they'll have their lessons with you through their phones. Others will use tablets, others will have computers. So you want to make the process of joining, signing on to the platform and having that lesson with you as easy and as painless as possible. And so one option that might be helpful or that might be worth considering if you are just starting out and maybe only have a couple of students, or if you're super brand new and haven't gotten any students yet, is to consider offering your language lessons through an established platform. So if you think about things like italki or OutSchool or Wyzant, and these are just some examples, you can Google and find a lot more. But the benefit to this is that In some cases, they will help with advertising and they will help with finding students, but also in other cases, the platforms that they use are built in, or they take care of the education on the side of the student. They take care of getting them all set up. So really all you have to do is set your schedule. Obviously you're planning whatever lessons you're planning and show up to the lessons, but you're not really dealing with paying for the platform. The established platform that you're using will pay for whatever meeting tool you're using with your students. Okay, so obviously in those situations, there's some sort of profit share or some sort of fee that you'll have to pay. But in many of those cases and in many of these platforms, you have the opportunity to set your own pricing. So you can just adjust your pricing to make sure that you're covering your expenses, whether those expenses are the use of the platform that you're paying out of pocket if you decide to go completely independent, or to cover the fees that you're paying for this established platform that is going to pay for the meeting tools for you. Okay, so just to recap, the three things that you should really consider are price, the controls that are available, and the ease of use, particularly for your learner. So if you want to learn more again about teaching language online, go to thekefar.com/teaching language online. The link is also in the video description. Leave me a comment with your thoughts and your questions. If there is another aspect of starting an online language teaching business that you would like for me to cover, let me know that as well. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you for the next video. Lehitraot.